I mean, come on, guys. Do you really think that Meghan Markle willingly wanted to leave Invictus, the spotlight all on her, all about her, just as royals are about to come in for the closing ceremonies? Do you think that she would willingly give up the opportunity to be photographed and seen going around with real royalty? Because unlike Harry, Prince Joachim of Denmark, he still uses his Royal Highness publicly. He still wears his military uniform. He is still a member of the royal family of Denmark. So what really happened? And we're going to get into this right now, because if people are still thinking, no, Meghan Markle just wanted to be at home with the kiddies, lunching the box, packing the lunch boxes. Yeah, yeah, sure. Well, hello, beautiful people. Please, if you like the videos, don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe, because it does help the channel, because it does tell YouTube that you like the videos, so they spread the message further. Okay, so please don't forget to do that. I want to thank those of you who become members of the channel for their super chats and the PayPal donations. Very much appreciated. But most importantly, thanks for watching and always being here. Before we get into the main topic about this royal issues that Meghan Markle is having, I mean, this woman is so toxic. We're going to talk about 2 or 3 things that are very relevant, because I got so much people clapping back at me when I posted that Meghan Markle IG stories had been banned on IG. The stories, I never said her posts. Her posts are still there. But her stories, as you can see right now, when you click on them, you get a little message saying that the story is not available. Instagram never does that. When the stories time is up, they simply disappear. They don't leave you a message. The story is not available. And the reason for that was because Meghan Markle was recording events that she was not allowed to record, specifically the one with the tribal ceremony. When she says, "Oh, thank you for welcoming us," that was a huge no-no. And she even posted the one with the kid dancing. That was another huge no-no. And other events about Invictus, because it was basically denigrating, like making it look bad. Invictus was not about her. Because also, as I said to you yesterday, and I showed you on my video yesterday, please also go watch it. On the page of the Invictus Games Foundation, you will find 0 Rachel Meghan Markle. Okay? So to her, she didn't even know that Instagram had banned those stories from her page. So after I did my YouTube video about it, within half an hour or 40 minutes, she went and deleted it, because the only way that you can that those videos would disappear is if she removes the story. This is why you didn't see them afterwards. So yes, those stories were banned. So that goes to show you that there is a crisis in the Invictus Games Foundation, that she was not allowed to be taking those. She was not allowed to be, especially the one where she's walking towards a meeting with the Dolly Parton song, working 9 to 5, and then she has Harry sitting on the floor like an idiot. It is ridiculous. It is embarrassing, because they were treating this like a royal tour, which it's not, because they're neither royal nor it isn't a royal tour. People have been working really hard for months, veterans, volunteers who are not getting paid. They're paying their own way. They're paying their own food. They're paying themselves everything for themselves. And they're working really, really hard. Now, also, if you go to the Invictus page, you will see that the Meghan speech the night before the Invictus Games actually started, it's nowhere to be found. Because, of course, it was not part of Invictus. Okay. And this, somebody taking a video because she wanted it out there, because she knew that she was not going to be allowed to grab the microphone anywhere. This is why she went to the podium with Harry, when Harry was at a Whistler, I believe, and he went on the podium, and she's like she's clinging to him, like a Klingon, literally, because she's not allowed to speak. That was the deal they made. So what does Harry do? He brings her on stage right next to the podium. So that's why you won't be able to find that out. Now, so people, please, I mean, I know that I'm not the most technological person advanced on earth, but even I do know that stories on Instagram, they last for about 24 hours, and when they're done, they're gone. You don't get a message saying the story is not available, period. So for those sugars who try to discredit me, bleh. To the story at hand, I know that not very many of you would know who Prince Joachim of Denmark is. Prince Joachim of Denmark is the second son of Queen Margaret, who abdicated the throne in favor of her firstborn, Frederick of Denmark, who's married to Mary Donaldson from Australia, the beautiful Mary Donaldson. So there was huge controversy because, let me get this right, and I'm going to read it here because in September 2022, Queen Margaret removed Prince and Princess, as well as Her Highness titles from Nikolai 24, Felix 21, Henrik, who's my son's name, 14, and Athena 11, who are the children of her second son, Prince Joachim, the guy who is flying on the 15th to Vancouver for the closing ceremonies of the Invictus Games Foundation. So that's the guy. I mean, he still retains his HRH, He still retains his HRH, his prince title, along with his wife, Princess Marie, Princess of Denmark. So and it was a huge thing, and people were urging King Charles to do the same, because the titles and styles, the prince and princess and her Royal Highness's titles have been removed, but they still remain in the line of succession, which is something that King Charles could perfectly do. But then we just read this article where it says that King Charles would never humiliate Harry. No, he would never do that. So Harry can humiliate the entire monarchy, the entire United Kingdom, the entire Commonwealth. He can go ahead and basically lie and defame what the Queen's legacy is. But King Charles is worried to hurt his feelings, and therefore he's never going to remove his titles. This is what it's called backbone, and Queen Margaret did that right before she abdicated because she wanted to leave a clean slate for her son, the king, who took the throne last year. So it would have been great to hear that, because that can be done. For many of you who still to this God, for the love of God, you're still saying that it's Parliament who removes the prince and prince titles, the prince title and the duke titles and his and her Royal Highness titles. What you're watching right now is Parliament's response to a parliamentary petition where people were asking Parliament, because certain YouTubers and royal experts were wrongly guiding people to ask Parliament to remove the titles because they wanted to take that responsibility away from Charles. So people were sending the parliamentary applications, and Parliament responded in writing that they don't comment about honors and titles, and all royal titles are up to the monarch. In this instance, you're reading Queen Elizabeth to the Queen, because she was alive when these petitions were still being put out there. Probably would have been great if Queen Elizabeth had done the same, and removed the titles from Harry and Meghan. Sorry, from Harry, because Meghan, this is a distinction I'm going to make. Meghan has no titles. As a courtesy, she's allowed to use her husband's title, which is different, okay? So please stop. And in the comments, I read in the comments, no, it's Parliament. No. And the king, can ask the Parliament to amend the Succession Act to include that only royals living physically present in the United Kingdom can be in the line of succession. He can request also that councillors of state can only be the ones who are physically residing in the United Kingdom. Sorry, did I say born in the United States? No. I meant that only children born in the United Kingdom can be in the line of succession, and only royals residing in the United Kingdom can be in the line of succession. The king can do that, because the Queen did that in 2012 when she asked on December 2012 from Parliament to please amend. Well, she said please, but actually it was a command. um, amend the Succession Act to remove gender and have primogeniture over gender, and also to include Catholics. Okay, so I've talked about this all the time, guys, for some reason. So now let's go back to Joachim of Denmark. Joachim right now, it is a working royal. He's based in Washington. He's in a diplomatic capacity on behalf of Denmark. So it's very interesting to see whether Denmark is picking up the tab for him to fly, or if it's Invictus is going to pick it up. Because now, of course, Meghan Markle called the paps to tell everybody that she's landed in a private jet. I mean, and people are giving it that it's for security reasons. They didn't say anything. Well, they did announce she was leaving. And Meghan Markle did tip the paps that where she was landing, what time she was landing, so they would be right there when she landed. Look at all the luggage this woman has. I wonder if those are her reads, because, I mean, you can clearly see that she had prepared a lot of luggage to go for a longer period of time, because she had planned this Valentine's thing. She had gotten this gown for Valentine's that she was going to additionally merge. She thought she was going to be pictured with Joachim of Denmark and his wife Marie, and she had gotten all these things. So you can see by the amount of luggage that she took that she didn't plan on staying 5 days. And actually, she just lost a lot of income, because she was, by not being able to merch what she was going to wear on Valentine's Day or showcase the expensive gift that Harry gave her. It's a bad look, right? I know I'm taking a little bit of sideways. Just go with me, because this will tie in very nicely. What do we see today? What do we see today? A picture of Prince Harry drunk, because he didn't show up for almost an entire day yesterday to Invictus game. The only thing he has to do is show up, because everybody else has done the job. All he has to do is show up and cheer them. He showed up drunk, smelling of marijuana, and absolutely smelly, and still kept drinking. But the most interesting part here is that it's backgrid who took the picture. Not Getty Images, it's backgrid. So I too, I get the guy. I too would be ecstatic if that horrible woman has left and he can party hardy. But he also has the responsibility to show up, because he got $60,400,000 for that. People have been working really hard, and his only job is to show up. I get you, Harry. I understand that you're celebrating your that horrible woman is not there. But you still have a responsibility, because he had barely been showing up anyways to begin with while Meghan was there. But it's very interesting that it is backgrid who leaks this picture. So I am wondering if this is a narrative from Meghan Markle, because she posted on her page, "Oh my God, I'm at home with the kiddies and we're cheering you, Papa," or whatever. Why? Harry's not competing. Harry's not competing, so why would they be cheering Harry? But I think it's a setup. Please let me know what you think, because this is a setup for me, that Meghan Markle wants to show Harry in the worst light, to say, "Oh my God, as soon as Meghan is gone, this man falls apart." I want to debunk another thing too. There are reports that people are saying that Harry, in his speech yesterday or the day before yesterday, said that, that he wanted to thank Meghan for being there with him. That he said early on that day, the pre-Invictus day, he said that. That's when he said it. But it's just been reported now, because again, Meghan is leaking this to show a narrative. Oh, Meghan is such a great mom. She's back at home with the kiddies, cheering the father. And we're here for you, Harry, from California. And in the meantime, when he was with me, he was showing up to things. And now that I'm gone, he's saying thank you for me being there. And he's showing up drunk and very late, because he only showed up for like 2 or 3 hours after midday. So go back to Joachim of Denmark. There was a huge brouhaha, because he said that his children suffered this emotional trauma. I mean, look how old those kids are. Like, they're 24, 21, 14, and 11. And the one that are 24, I think the one that's 24 and 21, they're models earning millions. And the only reason why they're modeling is because they were prince and they're princess. And of course, it brings cachet and like prestige to have them walking the runway. But they're still making a lot of money even without the use of titles because they are related to the royal family. But Prince Joachim, by the way, who divorced his first wife, and his first wife is ethnic, not a good sign for Meghan Markle, was he was angry that this thing happened all of a sudden, which is not true because the Queen said we had been discussing this and we need to slim down the monarchy and we're going to slim it the right way, which is a monarch can remove titles, all titles. Okay? The kids have regular names, but they still remain in the line of succession. I just want to make that clear. Okay? So isn't it interesting that it's Joachim who's coming? From what I was told, and this is what I was told, it's not Denmark picking the tab. It is Invictus Game who are flying them private from Washington to Vancouver. They are the ones paying for they're also staying at the very expensive hotel, paid for by Invictus. But Joachim, who's not stupid, after all this scandal, he made up with the Queen, he got like this cushy job in Washington as attaché or something. He knows that King Frederick of Denmark, his older brother, is incredibly good friends with Prince William and Princess Catherine. He's not about to rock the boat. He has been watching and monitoring the entire PR disaster that involves Rachel Meghan Markle. He doesn't want his image tainted. So on top of his sponsors threatening to pull out their support and demanding their money back, on top of the veterans threatening to walk out, can you imagine if all the veterans suddenly didn't show up to any of the events? That would be it for Harry. That would be it for Harry, Invictus, and anything else he has. Because like I said, I showed you in my video yesterday, Invictus is Harry's bread and butter. It's the only thing that has left him with some shred of reputation, which now he's clearly ruining himself. Not only with Meghan, but by himself. Because now that Meghan was gone, he could have shown up on time. Even if he was hungover, he could have shown up on time, at least take a shower, brush his teeth, because apparently he's stunk. So for those of you who want to blame Meghan, I am one of them. But Harry doesn't do himself any favors. At all. At all. So Joachim, as I said, who has been monitoring this, and the royal household of Denmark, they don't want people to think that the royal household of Denmark is behind this visit. They do not want to show any support to Meghan Markle nor be associated with her. So one of the conditions was, if she's there, we're not coming. If she doesn't go, we won't go. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That was the ultimatum. We're not coming. We're not going to taint our whatever we have left over of royal image, because they too don't want to miss the titles. They've already been shocked once when their kids lost all their titles, and they know that King Frederick can remove his titles as well. He doesn't want his titles gone. He's not going to anger Buckingham Palace. He's not going to anger the Danish Palace just so Meghan Markle can get a few photos, because this woman was salivating at the thought of being around royalty. One of the things that I did wonder though about was, because Joachim just still gets to wear his uniform. He still retains his HRH, like in public. Harry can't. Does that mean that Meghan would have had to curtsy to Princess Mary and Prince Joachim? Because she's not at the same level. They're not at the same level. They're former working royals who cannot use the HRH title. And if you cannot use the HRH title, you have to bow and curtsy to people who do hold in public the HRH title. So what do you make of all of this? I mean, how disgraceful is this woman? The vulgar displays, total disgrace. Harry showing drunk because he probably went on a bender, being so happy to be rid of those weaves, those fake wigs. I'm sure that when he pushed her down the slope, he was thinking secretly, maybe hoping to become a widower. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Please let me know. And And what a disgrace. What a fall from grace from Meghan Markle, who was once loved, adored, and accepted into the royal family in spite of all her flaws, who was given the chance of a lifetime. Just for her to be kicked out of Invictus veteran, Invictus game. Non grata, persona non grata. Isn't that terrible?